Genesis 39 verse 3 says, "The Lord was with him, and the Lord made all he did prosper." Those words were spoken about Joseph, a man who owned nothing, yet carried a blessing that could not be taken from him. His story begins with a gut-wrenching betrayal. Joseph was 17 when his brothers tore the robe from his back, threw him into a pit, and sold him to traders heading down to Egypt. He arrived with nothing, no family, no status, no protection. Yet Joseph served faithfully in the house of Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh. Whatever task he was given, it flourished. Potiphar noticed. He placed Joseph over his entire household, entrusting him with everything he owned. But favor brought trouble. Potiphar's wife cast her eyes on him. Joseph refused her advances day after day, until she seized his garment, accused him falsely, and Joseph was thrown into the king's prison. But even there, the same pattern continued. The keeper of the prison watched Joseph closely. He saw Joseph organize the prisoners, settle disputes, manage provisions, and bring order to a place built for chaos. Everything placed in his hands simply worked. So the keeper put Joseph in charge of all the prisoners, though Joseph himself remained behind bars. In time, Pharaoh's cupbearer and baker were imprisoned beside him. Each dreamed a dream they could not understand. Joseph interpreted them. One restored, one condemned. And just as Joseph said, so it happened. But the cupbearer forgot him. 2 years passed. Then Pharaoh dreamed a dream none of Egypt's wise men could interpret. Only then did the cupbearer remember the Hebrew in the prison below. Joseph was brought out, shaved, washed, and made to stand before Pharaoh. He interpreted the dream, 7 years of abundance followed by 7 years of famine. And he told Pharaoh what must be done. Pharaoh listened, and in a single moment, Joseph rose from the dungeon to stand second only to the throne. During the years of abundance, Joseph gathered Egypt's grain beyond measure. And when the famine struck, the whole land cried out for bread. People brought their silver, their livestock, their land, even themselves, in exchange for the grain Joseph stored. And when his brothers came bowing before him, Joseph preserved the family that once betrayed him. He saved his father's house in a kingdom where he owned nothing, not the fields, not the storehouses, not the throne above him. Yet every life in the land moved according to his word. Here's the part that most people miss. Joseph never possessed the grain. He never claimed the land. He never wore the crown. Yet Pharaoh said, "Only in the throne will you stand second to me." Joseph's power didn't come from force, it came from stewardship. He held nothing in his own name, yet the destiny of nations rested in his hands. He owned nothing. He controlled everything, not through force, but because God could trust him with it. And that's the ancient pattern the wise still follow. Not clinging to material possessions, but building structures that protect the blessings God gives them. If you want to build a structure that shields your family, keeps what you've earned from being scattered, and preserves your legacy for generations, tap the orange link and get the only living trust book you'll ever need. It's a simple, step-by-step guide for creating a system that protects quietly, endures faithfully, and keeps everything God placed in your hands moving exactly where you intended. Check out the book in the orange cart below.